Please stand up for Excellency, the Speaker. How are you? Gbajabiamila? Yeah, it's already here with us. You're welcome. How are you? Yeah. Ensure that you put your phones on silence.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Let me start with the leader of the House. We call nation building a joint task. It's not just about the members, but it also includes those of you in the fourth rail. Let me start by saying I came here for a very and extremely informal meeting. Not what I've seen here. This is even too formal for me. I didn't think I was going to be standing in front of a podium. I didn't think I was going to have microphones in front of me. Least of all, I didn't think that my colleagues would be here. I was going to sneak in, have a chit chat with you, and that's why in my characteristics I'm very, very casually dressed. You can see my colleagues they don't want to go home. We're on recess. To me, this is not a working day. I'm wearing my slippers, but you're lucky I was even going to put on my bathroom slippers when I realized I was running late. I was tempted to even come in shorts. After all, presiding officers are elected in shorts sometimes these days. So I did not mention any state. But yes, let me thank you for all your support over the years. I've been here, for a long time. For a long time. Many of you I've come to know, I've come to become friends with. Many I know only from the distance. And hopefully these next 4 years we'll get to know each other even more because we're going to be working together. And working together means a lot of things. You can interpret that anyway, but it means that we're going to be developing Nigeria together. So I'm going to charge you as we talk. I'm going to charge you. And we're going to have to be very, very honest with ourselves. You're reporting sometimes are not as accurate as they should be. I know every profession has its ethics. I'm only imploring that we try and stick to those ethical considerations as best as we can. Sometimes you see, and I believe sometimes it happens all over the world, you see screaming headlines and you read the story and has no relationship whatsoever with the headlines. Sometimes you talk about anonymous sources, stories that are negative but have no semblance or relationship with the truth. Unfortunately, once you report, it's going to be difficult. Your reports are read by millions of people. And it's not every time that the National Assembly can be rebutting. It shows a disconnect between when we're supposed to be working together. Now, that is not to say that you should only be covering or reporting positive stories about the House. No. This is part of the checks and balances. If there's any negative, please, by all means, don't even waste time. Don't hesitate. Report it. But imbibe the culture of investigative journalism as opposed to speculative journalism that will serve nothing but to inflame sometimes the anger of the constituents. There are unintended consequences when we do that. Some of those unintended consequences can even lead to something very drastic back home. So there is a great deal of responsibility on our part and on your part for us to report accurately and report only the truth. At first, when I came in, I was going to ask for a reaccreditation. It was going to be part of the reforms. Let's accredit our press men and women again. But then we changed it. I thought about it and I said no. Let the reform that is going to be in the House, that we're trying to put in the House, let us reform the press corps as well. Let us reform ourselves. So if we as legislators can ask for reform, then of course, you guys too should be able to reform yourselves. Because nobody's perfect. Whether as human beings or professionally, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. And so we need to talk truth to each other and try and see how we can make this institution work. I'm glad I was happy to employ people from amongst you. That wasn't done whimsically. It was done with a great deal of research and understanding of who they are, or what they've done, and what they'll be able to do. So I'm happy to work with them. As I'm working with you, means I'm working with. As I'm working with them, means I'm working with you by extension. So we have a lot of reforms. We expect you to be a part of it. We expect you to promote it. We expect you to see the good side of those reforms. We may end up hurting some people in the process, but I believe at the end of the day, it's going to be for the greater good. You've brought a laundry list of things that you want. I'm glad. You can't want furniture, want this, want a new press, which we are all entitled to, and we're going to try very hard to make sure you get those things. But at the same time, I'm glad you want those things. I'm glad you see the state of your furniture. I can only ask you to go to the offices of members and even the Speaker's office to see the state of the furniture there. Now, if you are reporting adequately that the National Assembly of the House of Representatives does not have enough capital, then we'll be able to make a case for these things that you're asking for. But when you're reporting, exaggerating the figures, then it becomes difficult. If there is we can't ask for more money, it becomes difficult for us to meet your needs. So it's a double-edged sword, however you want to do it. But we will look into your working environment. It has to be conducive. You have to be comfortable. The issue of the plenary and the proceedings in the plenary being relayed here is being looked into already. And I can assure you that will be addressed. I'm not giving you a timeline because I like to be held to my word. And if I say, by September, I want to make sure that by September you get it. So I'm not going to, but it's going to be pretty soon, maybe sooner than later. So that's it for me. I want to thank you once again for all your support. I know there were those who, because we do our research, there were those who were supporting other candidates. Yeah. But that is fine. That is what democracy is all about. But now that elections are over, I hope I can get your support, those of you that were on the other side. At least, even your candidates are chairing committees now, so you cannot cry more than the bereaved. So I thank you for all your cooperation. God bless you all.
Yeah, colleagues, put your hands together for His Excellency once more. Yeah, Honorable Speaker, we have a tradition here. Whenever
Madam, ẹ kúrò bẹ́ẹ̀ náà, ẹ wá kúrò bẹ́ẹ̀ àbí kò ní. Àwọn olówó mi olówó tó máa fún mi padà máa fún mi lówó ni.
Ìtúnú wà ní ẹ̀ máa lọ erúpọ̀.
Tó mi lọ́ba. A lo BBC wọlé. Wà ní tó mi lọ́ba BBC.
Tó mi lọ́ba kí ni?
BBC. Mo fẹ́ kó báyìí. Ẹ̀kọ́ pẹ́ jù bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Ẹgbọ́dọ̀. Really get your head out of the carpet. Take your head off. No wonder I wear shoes today.